It's just one of those days, isn't it? Salutations, class, and welcome back. We're getting back to Terraria again, and I just decided maybe I'd have a much more pleasant earlier afternoon today. So, I still don't know what I'm doing, so I think we might just build ourselves an elevator today and see what happens from there. I'm waiting for my hitbox to come in. It might be on Tuesday, but next week is full of a dense amount of holidays, and so is the week prior. I might try to pick up the fighting games at that point, but we'll see. James, welcome. Hopefully things will be working for us this time. Come on, show me the money. I said show me. There we go, finally. Information is the same as it has been prior. I mean, same friend code, and I have left it at the same password. Hopefully, if you are looking to join, James, things will be more functional this time around. First things first, we need a rope. See if I can get that out of the way, and get this started down here. I do believe we actually had a rope going down a bit further from one end. Might even have been on the other side that it was going down. How have your past few days been, James? Very delightful, I'd hope. So it seems the platforms are a little bit disruptive to our vertical transportation. I'll make sure to delete them on the way back up. And, we did have the rope on that side. Okay, we're handling things correctly. Move the torch over here, and do a bit more roping. Your days are forever chill. I just saw that spammed in you put, and obviously I'm absolutely in love. Heck, I'm in love with the art you've posted for the past couple of days, regardless. Very comfy. That, Sonic CD spammed-in post you linked, I actually found that in my recommendations a couple of days ago. Sonic CD has one of my favorite soundtracks of any game, and that applies for both the JP and the Western, American soundtracks, not necessarily Western. For what I know, the European soundtrack is the same as the one that the Japanese release had. Hey Joy, welcome. It must be an awfully early morning for yourself. Assuming I remember our time zones correctly. Come on, okay. Let's blank all the way through there. What the heck? Yeah, I'm gonna need a bit better visibility down here. Being attacked by invisible slime. 5 a.m. What are you doing at 5 a.m. on a Sunday? Do you normally wake up this absolutely early? That sounds like a nut, Kate. Well, sounds like a nutty thing to do for a night owl like myself. I'm completely secret. I've only been awake for a few hours myself. I use every weekend as I can to sleep in as much as possible. I'm sort of a nocturnal folk myself. I should really do more like 3 a.m. streams. There's a crowd for that. Are you online on Steam? It says you are offline. Ah, I did set myself to invisible. I do believe, I was messing with something a couple days ago. Forgot what it was. I think that's what it was. I was messing with VTube Studio while I was trying to generate some thumbnails. And didn't want those notifications going live on Steam. In Indonesia, most people wake up at 4 to 5. Sounds like a much healthier culture. Or unhealthier, depending on which way you look at it. I wish I could afford to do that frequently. You know, I have had a job in the past. Probably my least favorite job so far. Not that it was horrible, but I was working at a grocery store at one point in my life in, well, a department that required me to be there at 4 a.m. Note that is be there, not wake up, so I had to wake up at 3 a.m. This is actually during some of my college years, so my grades and my sleep schedule suffered quite a bit accordingly. I do hope things work out for us this time, James. See if we can get you in. Now, when I was I have mentioned a couple times that I had plenty of prior sessions playing Terraria with friends who knew much more about the game than I did. I knew pretty intuitively what a elevator was, but I don't really know the risks or all that go into building it. Kayla, welcome. Your morning prayer around those times, and even if you are not that religious, if you are a student or parent, schools start at 7. I remember that happening during my elementary school days. Interesting to hear that for an older audience. Normally, I'm used to... what is it? It was middle school for grades 6 through 8 that started at roughly 8, I think. And then I think high school started around 9. They just kept it a lot later for the older folk. That's very interesting. I'll try to remember that. Achievement complete. Jeepers Creepers. Stumble into a spider cavern. Okay. That'll explain all the web around here. Out of my way. Interesting mechanics. Toss it out and you can extend it again? Or maybe it's just a very weird way to play with the flail there. School at 7 for almost all levels of education. Interesting. I can sort of understand that. If I remember correctly, the reason why America tends to spread its schedules out is we don't have enough bus drivers. With America being such a widespread nation, there's a lot of bus routes that would need to go really far out of the way in order to get into contact with some of the students. And so, the schedules are spread out so that we could get, say, the first wave of bus drivers doing everything at 6, 7 a.m. Then once they've dropped that crowd off at school, we go on to the next. Elementary, then middle, and then high school, roughly in that order. But what I remember most fondly are the college days in which I only had to be there at, what, 2 p.m.? I had perfect time to sleep in. Seems we have run out of rope. Didn't we run across here before? Or at least it seems someone did. Good, we can... not quite. Try to get back up to that rope. Having the multiple jumps is a little difficult to figure out. I remember when I was playing this prior, I actually unequipped a lot of my extra jumping items just because it became so difficult to navigate around. Just like how these slimes are difficult to navigate around. Sounds like you're a little upset at that early time for getting up for school and for everything else. Are you a night owl as well? I know there's a number of specific people that, like myself, just tend to stay up as late as possible, and then sleep in whenever they're able to get away with it. Even in times in which it was sort of a detriment to me. But we all know that feeling very well. I don't think there's anyone that hasn't had the experience of sleeping in too late. I remember being very fond of these sort of glowing mushroom biomes. Although sitting here actually staring at that on screen is hurting my eyes. Blue light being among the stronger wavelengths. It really looks like someone's already been down here. Have people just been working with a grappling hook, it looks like. Most of my work appears to already have been cut out for me. Dig that out and place this somewhere. There we go. Shouldn't be too long to get to the bottom then. At least in this way we'll have a much more autonomous way to get ourselves down the elevator. And we don't really need to worry about grappling hooks on our way back up, which we did acquire last time. A slime hook even, since we had Slime Rain and the Slime King accordingly. Who died here? Who's our culprit? No notification. Must have been uprooted and then placed back down. I do believe we're getting close, aren't we? Z! Welcome! Game is open if you are available to join. Information as necessary is down in the bottom center of your screen. Hey Joy, right now you're a night owl because you chose later university classes. But during school, taking a bath at 5 is dreadful. Yeah, I try to do a lot of my showering in the morning as well whenever I immediately get up. Although lately, since it has been cold, I've been, well, might be a bit TMI, but usually I just take showers when I feel the need to. Given that it has been colder in what is normally a very, very hot place, I've forgotten to shower daily a couple times. Luckily, I'm not on the level of Smash player yet. But I have noticed that on the days that I don't shower consecutively, I do feel a little bit more uncomfortable. Probably like chat is right now. Yeah, someone's already been down here. All the way. Get this out of the way, and... we have run out of rope, pretty much. Do we have any more? I could have sworn I had a huge stash left over. Well, let's fill that out real quick. Place one more torch down here, even though the lava is doing quite a bit of work to illuminate our surroundings. Smash player exposed. I mean... I use deodorant, which at least already takes me out of that category. I do long to get back to Rivals of Aether soon. I do have good news, and that is I have started formal game dev discussions with a friend. If it wasn't a holiday week for the next 2 weeks, I'd probably try to see if I could get a programming stream done. Even if it's not necessarily for my game dev project itself, it would be nice to get sort of into that environment. After all, one of the reasons I started the whole VTubing channel was so that I could try to use it to springboard some sort of career off of it. Not for the streaming part, but as a way to get some networking done for other computer science-y or video game related business. That being my first priority, me being a programmer. And with some prior game dev hobbyist experience. Why do you have a bow? Giant bow. Means nothing, does it? But I can now be a Toho character like I always wanted. They all have bows. What does that one mean? That's a little unusual. We have balloons in the background. Is there okay. Looking like a winter celebration, given that we have the... Or, we used to have the rabbit hopping around like that. You know what? I think it would be nice to try to see if we could start on that formal game dev project. Not the game dev one. I'm talking about the Rivals of Aether character specifically. A lot of my other busyness has caught up to me, but if I'm going to be streaming on a slightly lighter schedule, it would be nice to drag that back along. I could have sworn I had more rope stored in here somewhere. Ah, there we go. 234. Not sure if that gets us to the end, but it would be nice to get rid of another stack of items. The lava there, I'm going to hazard a guess that does get us close to our destination. You tried a bunch of times. Your internet continues to be ungood. This is a shame. I know this was something you were very much looking forward to, and it's, well, admittedly upsetting that it's never really worked out. Or it worked out, what, once or twice for you? Maybe I should work on that dedicated server then. It shouldn't be too costly, but then again, we're only playing this game like, what, once every 2 weeks or so? Next week's schedule is going to be interesting. So Thursday is going to be another fighting game tournament. I can guarantee you that since, Friday is, I believe, Christmas Eve. So a lot of people are going to be occupied for that. Already it's looking like it's going to be either BlazBlue or Guilty Gear Strive again, which either way I'd consider a winning option. I still have a lot of work to be doing on the BlazBlue labbing front. We'll take this rope. Ah, rope placed there so that you could grappling hook back up here. I get it. As I said, I did order a Mixbox and it should be arriving Tuesday. So I should be able to do a lot of fighting game labbing at that time. If it's super intuitive, then, well, we're in very good shape. Hopefully I'll be able to learn it responsibly enough by Thursday. Although, let's be honest, I haven't even been able to lab my regular combos consistently in that game. And that's with a gamepad that I'm used to. One that I've been using for, almost a year. I actually had some third-party Xbox-style controllers that I was using for the longest time, but those tend to break apart after about a year. Ebonstone block, interesting. I think I remember hearing about that. Literally, the Mixbox is solely because, one of my favorite fighting game streamers actually uses one to play Gold Lewis, of all people. And he seems to be able to get a 684 consistently enough. So I think that might work better for us. As well, the character I picked up in BlazBlue is a charge character, of course, is a charge character. And even more odd than usual is he has to be a charge character going like up and then down and then down and then up, and having to mix in about a bunch of forward and back inputs alongside it. That's a very good weapon. Although I should have just used the space gun. That would be a lot more on brand, wouldn't it? Dig that out, and start getting ourselves back down again. What I'm hoping for is that using a Mixbox would make it a lot easier to work on those charge inputs. In pretty much every circumstance. Alright, time to test something irresponsible. Does standing in this lava flow hurt me? Oh, wait. No. No, it does not. Well, I was ready to have another embarrassing clip to put in a compilation. Seems that's not the case. And we are once again out of rope. Let's put another torch down here for a little bit of extra visibility. How much further does this go? Seems someone's already done all the hard work here. So then, class, for those of you far more experienced with Terraria than I, what are we even doing next? We were digging quite a bit in the jungle. I think it might be a good idea to go take a trip back there. But for the most part, I mean, we're just waiting for bosses, aren't we? After Skeletron, who's next? I can't remember how far it is until we get to the wall of flesh. Are those cobwebs just going to keep respawning in here? It's going to be a bit of an inconvenience. Since you can't join in, you'll talk about what you've been doing in your own Terraria worlds. You've been messing around with the crossover items and cheesing the new boss. I'm gonna guess that's the Don't Starve Together boss, right? I've actually been playing a lot of Minecraft myself. That's basically what I've done since Monday or so. It's what I've been focusing on. Really loving the new update and how fun all the new caves are to explore. Heck, who knows? Is this about to become a Minecraft channel? Would get a lot more people in here, for one. You want easy content, just make Minecraft. The YouTube website recently, I believe, celebrated 1 trillion views total between all Minecraft-related content on the website. Which is daunting. That would mean if every person on the planet watched a Minecraft video, they would have to watch about, who'd say, 60 or so? No, wait, it would come out to about 40, I believe. Everyone would have to watch 40 Minecraft videos, which is incredible when you think about it. Puts into perspective that any of the people regularly looking for Minecraft content will have watched it thousands of times. I very much like this big ball of hurt. I'm actually disappointed I haven't been able to participate in a lot of the fighting game betas that have been going on lately. Right now is a very good time to be a fighting game player. Between King of Fighters 15 and DNF Duel. Although I'm hearing some pretty mixed opinions about Dungeon Fighter. Still, I would have loved to at least been able to participate in those betas. I've never owned a PlayStation, but if I knew that they'd be the central fighting game console, first and foremost, then I would have bought one a long time ago. So, James, what are these crossover items you're having fun with? Anything with interesting mechanics to provide? Interesting little winter event. What's in here? Nothing. We should probably get rid of that. Ah, yes, the odd spiked jungle slime. This one still confuses me. Hornets. Actually reminds me, on my Minecraft world, I did just prepare some automated honey farms. I think whenever I do actually get into working Minecraft content myself on this channel, assuming that happens, I mean it is one of my absolute favorite games, I think in character it would be proper for me to focus on a lot of automated farms and redstone mechanics. After all, that's something I do experiment with a lot. Making automated farms to just make so much of the game easier. Wow, I am dying quickly. There's a new pet that allows remote access to your piggy bank. You'll never play a world and not get that one. It's so convenient. Oh, I was about to say, that looked like a pink slime. Look at them. When they're together, they're a magenta color. With their overlapping jumping patterns. Oh boy. Here comes the party. There we go. In order to get it, you must beat the new boss. Is it so much of a spoiler, the identity of this new one, or is it, pretty intuitive? Come on. There we go. Okay, what's still hurting me? Was that the hornet? I think so. Right, and there's all the thorns around here, isn't there? You'd think we'd be immune to thorns while we were wearing a full set of armor. It just confuses me to this day. On a similar note, I actually was playing Skyrim as well, and I noticed that you can still be affected by poisoned weapons even when you block it with a shield. And that makes no sense to me. Suppose I have to make alchemy worth something. Stingers. I can't remember if we needed those for the sets we were looking for. I know we needed vines, right? Heck, I still don't even know what I'm trying to craft here. Just trying to hoard as many supplies as possible for a proper mage build. Torch. And another man-eater spawning just off screen. Right, the little glowing boys. Jungle spores. Oh! Isn't that cute? Material. And you just keep respawning off screen every time. It's looking like next week will be Control. Yeah, Control and Halo again, just like this week. The name is whispered among shadows. It strikes fear into the heart of those caught in the snow. The deer clops, it approacheth. So... that sounds more like a winter event, unless... well, then again, I haven't actually played Don't Starve. Ever, so I don't even know what enemies we find in it. Well, you did say crossover, so I'm gonna guess that's the Don't Starve thing. Although in my mind, since it is December, I had reindeer on the brain. Right, we went this way. I think. And then there were the golems down here. Yep, there he is. We should get a minecart. Might make traversing this entire path a little bit easier. A deer clops doesn't sound initially threatening, but you did say it was a boss, so I expect a lot of danger. I can't remember. How far did we end up going? You know, this rail does look awfully familiar. Does this one just go across all the bottom? Sort of the middle of the world? I wonder if we'll actually end back up at the elevator from here. And through the water, too. And there's all the lava. Someone must have set all this. That's right, this was roughly where we got. And the minecart track still goes. Oh, of course, standing on the cactus hurts us. Why wouldn't I know that already? Oh, okay. That was accelerating uphill. That makes no sense. I don't have a minecart, do I? No, of course not. That music's different. Interesting. I didn't think electric guitars would be part of Terraria's soundtrack. Except maybe for the occasional boss. Ah, very homicidal cacti, I see. Allow me to demonstrate. Ah, come on. Oh, they roll towards me violently. Awfully sadistic, isn't it? More worm. Oh, that's a big worm. And he's gone. I wonder if this cart trail was naturally generated or sand slime. Interesting. Or if someone here placed it. That would be an awful lot of minecart track to go through, so I'd wager on the side of the former. It is a boss that must be fought in the ice biome. It also requires lynx fur, item used to summon the boss. Lynx fur, lens, and demonite ore, so it shouldn't be too difficult of a boss then. If it's just using demonite, which we've already done a lot with. A present! Ah, and they come with various festive little equipment for objects for us. Cute. Eggnog. That reminds me. I really should go to the grocery store, pick me up some myself. Ugly sweater, absolutely necessary. I will put that on. And parka pants. We are now officially a fashion disaster. I actually found an AI-generated Toho character account on Twitter, which is very interesting. Averaging together, say, all the Toho art that okay, it looks like the minecart trail stops here. But someone who got an AI to generate together new Toho characters off of existing Toho art with Zun's ever so unforgettable art style, if you can call it that. Makes for a very interesting experience, and it actually has quite a bit of fan art working on it already. Good. Kill it. Kill them all. Ugly little bugs. And more of them. There we go. Think we got some more holes to go along here. And I think we actually might end up coming back to the elevator through that. Although it's interesting that the minecart trail stops here. Maybe that really is the end of it. You know what? Why not? Let's see what's at the bottom of that shaft. Yeah, why does that start rolling towards me? That makes no sense. If I shoot it from the other side... Literally activated just to be as sadistic as possible. I swear those cacti have a mind of their own. Another item grows around graves. It's a pretty good summon for the summoner class. I still haven't decided if I just want to go pure wizard with magic missile or do the whole summoning thing. I mean, the magic missile did look fun. I always love being able to steer around my own projectiles. Cobwebs in my way again. Cacti are like boulders, they want you dead. Is that why we got squished that last time? Amethyst. I was wondering why that was sparkling so much. Ah, more rope. though, I guess we do have a reason to go back to that shaft regardless. Instead of... Why is there a yellow marigold? Ah! Yellow marigold in there. I suppose that checks out. Terraria's game design basically saying, hey, we want you as dead as possible. I mean, there was that, expert mode or whatever, which made the entire game so much more difficult. Get ourselves a little boost up here. An entire amethyst geode. And already I'm feeling nostalgic for Minecraft. Maybe with the new year I will start on something for that. We should finish Control and Halo Infinite roughly around the same time, which does free up 2 slots for us again. A better weapon that looks like the magic missile can be found in the underworld. Guess that means we have a reason to head straight back there immediately. Although I'm not sure if I'm geared up for it. I did check my single-player profile, which had a similar setup. It was, I did still have some Demon Knight items, but I think I had a... what is it? HELLFIRE pickaxe? Something like that. So I should be roughly where I was the first time I was playing this game solo. But it's been so long, that was 4 years ago at the minimum. Mercer, the traveling merchant, has arrived. Looks like occasionally you can hear my spacebar triggering. At least that's what it looks like from my audio monitor. It's a very loud mechanical keyboard. And it's going to be very, very loud when I get my Mixbox in. The ever so infamous super clicky arcade buttons. But, like a mechanical keyboard, they are ever so satisfying to press. Wonder if there's other games that I can just outright play with that. Say, any of the Metroidvania platformer-esque sort of games. Or even Rain World could essentially have been played with a Mixbox. I'd imagine you don't need to use analog inputs for that one. Flame Lash, found in shadow chests, requires a shadow key. And shadow keys... Ah, right! We can also go to the dungeon! I know that's another place we can definitely rummage through. I don't know why I'm spending all this time trying to run back when I had a magic mirror this entire time. Silly, Xander, silly. I suppose this, among other games, I should definitely play a lot more off-stream to get a hang of. It's what I did with Noida and why we've succeeded so well in that game. The new Game Plus playthrough is coming at some point, indeed, but I did want to free up the schedule just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's a start. Oh, Xander, you absolute criminal, just putting things haphazardly in any chest without any regard to organization proper. I will need that hammer. And we might want the bug net. I think that's it. Yeah, let's get out of here. Flame Lash, interesting name. I can't remember, does this game have, elemental types and weaknesses like Starbound does? Starbound I also want to play one of these days, but not vanilla. Vanilla Starbound sucks. There, I said it. And a long cruise downward we go. I guess those cobwebs are going to keep growing back in. We'll figure out a solution for that. Wonder if we just fill the entire passageway with ropes, say 2 or 3 wide, and then we shouldn't have to deal with them on the way down. That would be my first hypothesis. Also, I'm feeling the uncomfortably persistent need to actually start playing Spore. That's what I saw... Oh, hold on. One of my VTuber friends, I actually saw him streaming that yesterday, so I had to, of course, participate in that one. Spore's such a classic. And I'm obsessed, I'll admit it. I mean, it's not like I have to play through that once now, is it? Once I make a much more famous possible debut, it would probably be a lot more reasonable to... what else going on here? I mean, there's nothing to prevent me from playing it again, is there? Terraria has status effects, like being burned, poisoned. Flame Lash does the obvious thing. But not any specific damage types working better against certain enemies, I imagine. The heck is this? Is that a gravestone? Ah, and another heart life crystal. We'll definitely want that. What the heck? Spore skeleton. That's interesting. And the big slimes. Popping out little slimes. Ugly popcorn babies and whatnot. Another life crystal so soon. Some enemies are immune to some status effects, of course. You can't light a fireball on fire after all. It's already on fire. Now, I know there was an issue in which goblins start showing up if you're above 200 health, I think it was. Is there an issue if we keep going? I believe our maximum was 400, correct? That's not going to, say, have some sort of much evil, angrier boss show up once we reach a higher threshold of health, right? Of course, there's nothing to stop you from lying to me and getting me in trouble. Crabs, huh? Interesting. And they keep coming. Candy canes, of course. Is that just spawning them? Is that what's going on here? They keep coming back from the statue, I see. Well, we can get candy canes from them at least. Wonder what the purpose of that is. Leviathan was torn in half by crab. Screenshot that. I'll have to scold her about it later. After all, why would an aquatic ship be weak to sea life? So she has been here before. Crab statue. Wonder if that keeps spawning them after we place it back down. Let's potato chips. Minor improvements to all stats. If only that were true in real life, I'd be eating them all day. Goblin army can spawn once you have 200 HP. Pretty sure that's the only regular pre-hard mode invasion. So we have more of them to deal with once we get all the way up there. Crab. I said crab. Ah, looks like they're not coming back. Uh-oh, hold on. I will still make my promise to never let you hear me sneeze on stream. Papili, welcome. Didn't have work today, it looks like, or at least you got home early. So glad to see you. And lots of glowing mushrooms. And a heart statue. Wonder what's with all the statues in this area. You requested Saturdays off. Well, I'll make it a promise to start streaming on Saturday a lot more often. I did just order a Mixbox, which should be arriving on Tuesday. And with that, I'm looking forward to possibly playing with a lot more fighting games on weekends. So glad to see you. One of the earliest visitors to this channel. Welcome. We're trying to figure out what the heck we're doing in Terraria. Oh, well then. That was a gift. Thank you. Come on, I hear you. Okay, so we can just keep throwing out the extra little slime claws for the grappling hooks. Ah, it looks like we are getting close indeed. Place down some torches for a little bit more visibility, and everyone's just following us down the shaft. Is this just iron or is it something different? Platinum ore, which is a little rare, but I can't remember how useful that was. It's kind of funny, when I was playing Minecraft, I sped-run that quite a bit. And just by the second day, I already had enchanted netherite gear. Mostly because I was hyper-focused on trying to get as much of the powerful equipment as I could. After all, it's a lot harder to lose progress if it's difficult to die. Hellbat. Yep, and here we are. It's getting hot in here. So now, you get to see Xander foolishly flounder about, and probably get himself killed in the next 5 minutes. Can I stand in here? Can I stand in here? Can I stand? I cannot stand on there. So that's what we need the shadow keys for. Very well. Where do we get the shadow keys? I'm about to make a lot of you upset with how foolishly I'm running around down here, aren't I? I do remember not to make the mistake that I made the first time, and that was, what, the, You have no idea what's going on. I don't either. I've never played Terraria through to the end myself. But, I do recall, what is it? The, flying guys tend to have the voodoo statues for the guide. And I know not to let those people die over lava. What the heck is this? Hellforge. I imagine we craft better equipment there. Let's light this place up. How could hell be so dark? Hellfire, hellfire. I was looking forward to that. I haven't been playing nearly enough Strive lately. I really should pick it back up. Oh, that reminds me actually. Papili, do you have any interest in BlazBlue yourself? I know that's been the talk of the town in the FGC for the past few weeks, ever since it started getting rollback. I picked it up myself. And I have a long way to go, because for the longest time I couldn't figure out the character I wanted to play. That game, to this date, has still given me the worst character crisis. Doesn't look like there's gear down there. Maybe if we open that door, some more of that lava will flow through. And watch this. Oh wait, hold on. Break these first. See if we can take anything out of here. Obsidian bathtub. Huh. Isn't that cute? And more imps. No, go away. I don't want anything to have to do with you right now. Deciding on your pocket characters, who's your main? I picked up Kagura myself. I do love my stance characters and characters that have a lot of specialized tools. Bullet, excellent choice. She was one of the ones I was looking at for the longest time. Really like the explosive nature of her character. And as well, it's nice to have grapplers that aren't the big slow guys. I explicitly didn't pick up Tager, even though he is a science boy and everything I want to be. Didn't pick him up because he's a grappler who has so much trouble getting in on... Well, I mean, it's all because of the extremely lopsided matchups. Some of them that I don't think you can play around whatsoever at all. The Dunk Queen herself, indeed. Blaze Warrior, welcome. New Spider-Man film is spectacular. I haven't been to a theater in a while myself. I wonder if that one's available for streaming. Welcome, Blaze Warrior. Not into the lava. Oh, hello there. Well, that's new. How have you been these past few days, Blaze Warrior? Well, if you dropped something, it's belonging to the lava now. I wonder where we can navigate here. Seems someone's already dug out a few holes, and some walls. So we are not the first person to arrive here. I guess that would mean that any of the immediately accessible shadow keys have already been taken. Are you going to get Persona 4 Arena when it comes out next year? I guarantee you, if it's an ArcSys game coming to Steam, or more specifically an ArcSys fighting game on Steam, I'm going to pick it up. Except, like, maybe Battle Fantasia. That one just doesn't interest me at all. But I can assure you, yes, I will definitely take a look at Persona 4 Arena. But I can't guarantee I'll stick with it. After all, I haven't stuck with any of the other games, aside from Guilty Gear. Although I can definitely see myself sticking with, BlazBlue in the future. Looking for the keys! Those are in the dungeon. Well, I was also... yeah, Voodoo Demon. And there he is with his, voodoo doll of the guide. I'm not supposed to kill that guy anywhere where the, doll gets dropped over lava. That was the mistake I made the first time I was playing. How did I get up here? Oh, right, I hopped across there. Well, turning back around to the dungeon we go, then. Oh, boy. Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with you today. Not right now. Funny, we literally stopped right before we actually reached hell itself. There's gotta be an easier way to navigate this. Although I imagine there's some Terraria-ish movement I haven't gotten myself yet accustomed to. Are you okay with fighting game developers making their games simple for new players? I mean, in the cases of a lot of these sort of situations, I don't think there's really a moral high ground to be taken. A lot of people talk about how, oh, dumbing down for new players will alienate the older audience and stuff like that, and it will, of course. But game developers essentially have to push sales, don't they? So I understand them simplifying new games, and I definitely think it as... Come on, fairy. I'm watching. I'm listening. Better point me somewhere. Ah, he just wants a hug. That's it. So, even if I am upset by the simplification of a lot of new games, I do understand it completely. After all, the older games aren't going anywhere. Accent Core is still incredibly fun to play nowadays, and it has gotten a much newer fan base since it got rollback netcode and all the hype that would come along with it. So, on the subject of fighting game developers dumbing down new games, it upsets me, but I understand the motive behind it. They have to push sales after all. I do, personally, still very much love Strive. I despise cross-tag battle. No treasure nearby enough, so the fairy just chills. Well, glad to have another fairy on the stream then. Someone here to chill. Yeah, ultimately I would prefer that we still kept games somewhat complicated, but I do admit that I enjoy the accessibility that a few new fighting games provide. Mostly it's, I wish I had a frame buffer in every fighting game. You know, just 3 frames at least. For, what the heck? Drippler. That's different. In the case of a lot of the accent core I've been practicing nowadays, with that game not having a frame buffer whatsoever, it's sort of frustrating, especially for me playing a character like Slayer, whose entire moveset basically revolves around 2 and 3 frame links, since he doesn't have Gatlings the same way that other characters do. It is satisfying to finally pull those combos off, but at the same time, and I think I've actually hidden that video from my channel, that accent core tourney was incredibly embarrassing. I think that one was 0-2 immediately. Blood Moon enemies. I forgot about Blood Moons completely. There's a couple of conveniences I like from the newer games, absolutely. Exard I think is my favorite just because it's right there in that sweet spot of still having a lot of difficult, complex stuff to do, but it does have its accessibility in stylish mode being available to newer players, and having a bit of a frame buffer at the very least. After all, I've said a number of times, if Exard ever gets rollback netcode, I am never picking up Strive again. That might not be true, as I've fallen in love with Best Boy Gold Lewis. Ah, speaking of Best Boys, that does give a bit of perspective. There's, Anji, who, is not even half the man he was in Accent Core, so I definitely hate how they've dumbed down and absolutely destroyed his entire identity as a character, and his moveset. All he has is Fujin, really. Fujin and Butterfly, and they're both shadows of their former selves. One of the reasons I dropped him is because he lost a lot of functionality that the older version had. I've said it many a time again. If a character's central most important tool is counterable by DPs, then what's the point in playing him? So I definitely don't like how they've destroyed the identity. Yeah, Anji had so much stuff in Accent Core, and it upsets me so much. One of the reasons I actually love Mugen so much is I get to call my own shots, so I hope I can get some more Mugen development done in time. That would be fun. Mugen stream. Talking about programming characters. That might be a part for the game dev project coming up, which, as I've said, will implement a lot of fighting game mechanics, given how much I love fighting games. Yeah, I tried tolerating Anji for, what is it, about 6 weeks? Might have been 2 full months. And then I said, you know what, this character isn't anything that he used to be, and dropped him promptly. In fact, I would say that I would not still be playing Strive if it wasn't for Gold Lewis. Having such a high execution barrier, I do feel the reward when playing him, so maybe, in retrospect, I sort of would actually be on that side of hating Strive if it wasn't for a few select characters I enjoy the experience of playing. After all, I do have a particularly deep hatred for a certain number of characters in that game, which, Ramthal, do not absolutely need to try ever in order to win. Even going back to, Xard days, picking characters like, say, who are top tier? Yeah, the top tiers in that game, such as Elfelt, Raven, well, Elfelt to a lesser extent, but Raven and Johnny, for example, I sort of do see them earning their wins. Elfelt not so much. But in Strive, like, I'd say pretty much any of the top 5 characters do not earn their wins whatsoever. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I am growing my distaste for the simplification of newer games. Although I wouldn't say it's the simplification so much, but the way some of those games handle their new directions. Isn't Melty Blood kind of a disaster right now? For what I know, the low parries parry both, no, it's a shield in Melty Blood. They parry both mids and lows, right? So that sort of defeats the purpose of the 50-50s of them. If those low shields are only broken by high attacks, then it's not really different from having a regular guard, is it? For what I know, that game is riddled with option selects and incredibly strong defensive options. The more I think about it, there's not been too many recently released games that I have had taste for. We cannot destroy the spikes with a weapon. Got it, we gotta get down there with an actual pickaxe. Yeah, the entire reason I basically played Anji in Accent 4 was because he had so many tools. I picked up Slayer mostly for the fact that he can swag on all of his opponents. Can't comment because you're hard carried by the amount of defensive options a game has. A defensive player, are you? Remind me, who do you play in Strive? Because if I remember correctly, you were playing Gold Lewis on the release day, or release week, when we came across each other. I don't recall you staying with him. I do enjoy a lot of defensive options in games. In fact, when I get to developing my own, I will definitely include faultless defense as one of the options, and possibly even a Street Fighter 3-esque parry, with some caveats behind it because the Street Fighter parry basically made zoning characters obsolete. Which, as much as I hate zoners, they add a bit of liveliness to the game. So do we destroy these guys, or do we just have to outright mine them out? And we can't. Do we have to shoot them? No, we literally just have to play around them. Luckily, we have some grappling hooks to get around a number of our obstacles. Kai player at the moment. Yeah, I was actually spending some time playing Strive for the first time in a while last night with a friend. I wasn't in the mood to play Gold Lewis just because I'm trying to only relearn good habits with Gold Lewis. My sparring partner is... I will not smack talk him on stream. He's a good player, but there's a number of times in which he has taught me some irresponsibilities with how I fight him specifically. Mostly, I am conditioning myself too hard to fighting his playstyle, and because of that, I do believe I've actually gone behind or fallen behind in a number of fights that I should have learned better defensive habits myself. So I'm trying not to use my best character versus him, just for the sake of not learning the specific bad habits I could learn from fighting him. Accordingly, I played a bit of Soul Bad Guy and Kai, and was not having fun. Me, not having fun in a Guilty Gear game. A game I have, as of the past 4 or 5 years, built my entire identity around. I felt the liveliness return the instant I picked up Gold Lewis, so I think with a lot of the more complex characters I would be more invested in sticking with it. In fact, I personally think if Guilty Gear was just a little bit more complex and had roughly a 30% reduction in damage universally, I might even like it more than Xrd. Blue Moon. Hold on, let's get a look at that one. Yeah, he just teleported out of the way. I do like how they've gone with the DLC characters and making them all sort of particularly unique. And they do have their own complex game plans to bring to the table. I think Happy Chaos is probably the best manifestation of a gun-based character in a fighting game. We've had multiple different iterations with, say, characters that don't even actually have guns, just have disjointed normals, versus characters like HELLFIRE, which are absolute cancer. Yeah, I said it, and everyone will agree with me. So that's basically a stronger version of the mace I'm currently using. Remind me, what was my I don't have health potions on me. Why am I asking about that option? You absolute fiend, let me talk to my chat. Suppose this isn't a safe place to be taking a rest regardless. Hit him. Hit him. Let me focus on this for just a moment before I resume my lecture, as is appropriate of a professor. Perfect. But, I think Happy Chaos's gameplay, in the sense that he needs a bit of time to get his aim together. Like how that, caster had the perfect aim to knock me into danger right there. We'll have to go back and pick that up very soon, very quickly. On our way. Where was I? Oh yeah, the fact that he has to lock on, but regardless can basically hit anyone, anywhere on the screen. I think he works exactly as a gun character should in a fighting game. And should I ever implement a gun character in one of my own games, I will have to copy, steal so many of those mechanics. Let's pick up the healing potion and be a bit more responsible this time. We'll want that net. Why not? Take the potato chips as well. Nathan. Oh, it's a quest. Not interested. Oh, that's right. The Halo tournament is tonight. I have to go and work on some stuff now. See you later. See you very soon, Pepili. I'll try to see if I can... Well, next couple of Sundays are basically holiday weekends, but in the future, I'll see if I can run some, Strive or BlazBlue lobbies. Or, heck, even, Accent Core lobbies. Let me know on Twitter what you want to see. I do like to make accommodations for my students. And so once I get my Mixbox in, I do want to pick up some more fighting games, and Saturday would be the best, most perfect day to play them. Being my favorite day of the week. Hope things turn out for you well. Anything's cool. Indeed. Thank you for visiting, Pepili. So glad to see you. Yeah, guerrilla fighting streams on Saturday sound excellent. I might even do one later tonight. Although that could be, you know, just some deep hour in the morning. Back to the dungeon we go with more, well, somewhat of a healing supply on us this time. Funny, I completely blacked out on the path that I took to get there because I was so deeply entrenched in my hatred for fighting game simplification on the last run I was going through here. You know, like when you drive a route you've driven so many times, you don't remember the drive that you've taken, you sort of go on autopilot. I completely forgot that there's literally an entire stage of the corruption in between my home base and the dungeon. But here we are. That's an interesting perspective. I have a question for you, James. Do you have any interest whatsoever in the potential future programming streams? And if so, is there anything you want to see specifically? I already have two things in mind. I can work on a basic platforming engine and discuss the basics of variables, movement, states, so on and so forth. For a bit more of an interesting conversation, I do actually know a bit about roguelike dungeon generation, which I might do a little stream for that. Some of the simplistic random generation. I know one of my students has addressed his specific desire to learn coding, so I'll be happy to provide that for him. And heck, once Rivals of Aether comes back around, I might have enough time to discuss there. Chances are I will not be programming something live. I will have already made an example, playtested it, and made sure that things work, and then go over basically recreating that code and discussing the mechanics of it specifically. Would be excellent practice to make sure I comment everything properly, as a number of times I've done my coding, it's been a little irresponsible. I have looked at some of my projects I worked on 5-6 years ago, and found that I did not comment much of them at all. So it was very difficult to pick them back up and see what was going on. Try this again. Another dart trap. Golden headstone. Ah, that was the one I just left behind. Golden chest, and we did pick up a golden key. Gold coin, recall potion, spelunker potion, a shadow key. Well, that's some excellent news for us. Yeah, I see you, Cursed Skull. Get over here. Let me get back to looting this entire thing, and you are also interrupting me. Wonder what that table's for. You'd love to see that. Perhaps one day, then you will finally be able to make collisions at work. Is there any game engine you are familiar with? Me, myself, I know Game Maker Studio 2, basically inside and out. And I do, if you are interested in trying to learn that stuff, I have a lot of perspective and insight that I can provide. Casually walking across the spikes like you don't care. Of course. My rules are not their rules. There's so many of you. Oh! Well, this bad moon's definitely wonderful. I like it. Does a lot of damage that we absolutely needed. You know, for the namesake Turing, I should have hopped on the programming train a lot earlier. But I'm still essentially getting out my streamer feel, as only times I've streamed before were to an audience of basically only my friends. Prior to my first stream in June, I believe I've only streamed twice before. On my own little Twitch. Which, no, you will not know who that is. So what collisions are troubling you, James? If it's something in, like, Unity, I can definitely understand that. But I have, I think, gotten some collisions working properly in the GameMaker Studio engines I've worked on. Good, we're in a sweet spot where we're not being hit by the giant spiked ball. Ruthless Muramasa. I've heard tales of a sword like this. Wide range. Wonder how that compares to the Blue Moon here. Very fast speed. It probably has more DPS. Although with the Blue Moon here. Okay, Blue Moon. I don't know why I was thinking Bad Moon. Yeah, we have significantly more range with that one. And of course I am partial to adapted weapons myself. Maces, hammers, so on and so forth. That new Crusader character in the Dungeon Fighter game is a little absurd, but I'm happy. You tried to make collisions for a top-down adventure game in GameMaker Studio 2 did not work. Well, I will be happy to help you very specifically with that issue. Finally, Xander's going to do exactly what he set out to do. Well, aside from get famous, of course. The algorithm continues to bury me and has not yet recognized my brilliance. Get a few pew-pews in there. And a golden key. Excellent find. Top-down shooter. Those were the days. That was actually the most common game type that I worked with and when I was doing a lot more amateur development when I was younger. A young little Xander. Top-down shooters are very simple to make and equivalently quite fun. How dare the algorithm. Well, indeed, and after all, for what we do know, female VTubers are going to be way more popular than male VTubers. Heck, I know a lot of my male peers stream with female avatars regardless. Just because that does draw in a lot more attention. Don't use GMS2, you're allergic to subscription fee. Subscription? I thought that game only required a one-time license. Last time I purchased it. Hold on, I have to look that one up. Right now, or really more so when I am in a bit more of a safe spot. Because it looks like there's nothing safe in the dungeon whatsoever. I don't remember paying for GameMaker Studio 2 in any times in the last few years. And I bought that quite a while ago. Unless maybe it's for the larger suites, possibly. Is there any engine you do particularly use then, James? I'm looking to learn quite a number of them. I'm still speculating what engine I'll use for my own game dev project. Right now I'm at a toss-up between GameMaker Studio 2, everyone's favorite, Unity, and Godot, which I do hear some good things about. Game Maker Studio was the first one I played with back when it was just called Game Maker. All the way back in 2007 was when I had my first foray into that experience. Wild Cobalt Shield can be worn in vanity slots, grants immunity to knockback. That will actually prevent us from being murdered so easily by getting knockback. Negates fall damage, allows flight, increases maximum. Hasty Band. I think the Hermes boots are more important. You know, I think until we need the bigger double jump from a cloud in the bottle, I think we'll be fine with just the rocket boots. You've tried Unity, that's about it. I couldn't get myself to like Unity. Seems like it's set up a lot more for someone who doesn't know too much about scripting, with a lot of its pre-built and preset controllers. Of course. Flip the switch, get hit. Now let's try that again, get rid of some of these more obtrusive spikes. Yeah, how do you like that? I imagine there's a boss at the end, right? Probably. Don't like it much either. Found it to be very unintuitive. Finally. Glad to have someone who agrees with me. It seems like a lot of Unity is set up for someone who, you know, baby's first game development software. Which, sure, the same thing can be said for, say, Game Maker Studio 2, but it has its accommodations for someone who knows what they're doing. After all, you're basically programming in C the entire time, aren't you? This entire passageway is made of these cracked bricks. So he just teleports out of the way. Got it. I'm confused, but I got it. I'm so glad that we can actually just dig out these spikes. I've played plenty of game before that will completely disable you from getting rid of hazards during the runtime before you've conquered the dungeon. I think I had some Minecraft mods that did something similar. They generate a dungeon, but you couldn't destroy any of the pieces in it. Issue with that is there were a number of hazards that were very difficult to get around. How deep does this go? And we did find one shadow key, that is good news. Come here, boyo. Everything's falling apart. Quite tasteful. I do have a bit of an engine built for a project I'm looking for specifically. I've made somewhat of a responsive platforming engine myself, and a couple of decent hitboxes and mechanics to go with it as well. Although, the other day I did come across someone's Smash Brothers engine, which actually advertises itself as having rollback netcode. So I might take a look at that one. I did purchase it, of course, and I'm free to use it as I like with the license that comes with it. Maybe that would be a way to get some income on this channel, not specifically off of the health potion. There we go. Hold on. I'll have to concentrate for a moment. Phew. Take a moment to rest here. You only need one shadow key, they are reusable infinitely. Well then, guess we don't have much of a reason to still be down here then. You provide... I did make a joke about having favorite students earlier, and I do It was on, I think the birthday stream, I think is when it happened. Not the birthday stream, the anniversary stream. I did make a joke about having favorite students, and while I definitely love everyone for their specific reasons, I'm not going to pick favorites, of course. You always provide the most valuable insight on these games that I don't know anything about. And it's for that reason that one of these days I will definitely pick Rain World back up. Oh, right. I just have a quick ticket out of here. Clothier Voodoo Doll. You are a terrible person. Headstones, banners. Forceful Valor. Is that a weapon? Ah, it's a yo-yo! That's interesting. You know, I might want to play with that one specifically. Looks like we also picked up a... Oh! That's a powerful handgun, too. I don't yet understand what the name colors mean yet, but that looks like a very powerful modifier on there. Though I don't know how to craft the ammo for it just yet. Slugcat supremacy incoming. It will be a very long time before I get back to Rain World. I can guarantee you that. Like, I might even say 6 months, at the very least. It did bring in a couple new viewers. Wasn't that actually where you showed up, Joy, or am I thinking of someone else? Very curious that there's a few games that people are still looking for at a much later date, and how I can occasionally pick up a new viewer from that. Interesting. Some of the games I like the least get me the most views. Although I'd say Rain World is the only game that I've had trouble liking so far. In the case of games such as Terraria, I just fundamentally don't know what I'm doing. Tally-ho, we go. There's no way this can end poorly. In the meantime, you can play other things like Inscription. That actually is on the list very soon. We have, Halo and... Ooh, yuck. We have Halo and Control that I want to get out of the way. But Inscription, I am promising you, guaranteeing you right here, right now, that is on the list very soon, after we finish either or both of Control and Halo. I want to try to have only 2 concurrent story-focused games at a time. It looks like we'll have one more Halo stream, that game's about to be done, and Control, who knows how long. But yeah, Inscription is definitely happening soon. I will also be picking up Dead Cells again with the new expansion coming in January. And you all better be there for that, that is my absolute favorite game. Inscription is something you're looking to watch another stream that you followed, played it recently, and it seems fun. Oh, it was bothering me. I mean, this is sort of like a delayed magic missile here. Yeah, absolutely. It's a card game, isn't it? Spelunker Potion, Platinum Bar, I didn't get to read the entirety of that. Treasure Magnet increases pickup range for items. Useful, but maybe not immediately so enough to replace something else that we have. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of my friends playing it. Yeah, that's happening very, very soon once we get Halo and or Control out of the way. Yeah, January, I mean, basically for December so far, we focused on Control, the fighting games that are now getting rollback. I mean, it's only halfway through the month so far. What have we done? Might be a little bit of a safe spot in hell right here. Doesn't look too immediately dangerous. What do you have in her video history? Funny that YouTube will recommend me my own streams to watch. Yeah, out of my way. Yeah, it's mostly been Control, a little bit of Rain World, and Halo. Yeah, it's been Control and Halo, as expected so far. Last few months have been a lot of the same stuff going on. I want to pick back up Noida, but once I have more production value, and I think I'll definitely focus more on the streaming stuff. I will give the confession. It does bum me out a little bit that I attract so little of a viewer base, but I'm also not doing the work behind the scenes that would attract more people here in the first place. I do find myself absolutely revitalized even after a long stream, so long as we have a whole bunch of people here to join us, chat, and just generally have the good vibes. Even on the streams in which I've sounded or felt exhausted, I felt happy about it, so long as I made larger amounts of progress. But lately, I mean, in the past 40 days or so, I've only gained a total of 3 subscribers on YouTube. Gotten quite a few on Twitch, but mostly those are followers from friends I have made on Twitter, which, good news, I have made friends on Twitter. So it is a little demotivating having such slow progress, but once things start picking up, I think I will definitely stream a lot more often and we'll be able to fit in more consecutive or concurrent games at the same time in a schedule. You know, I kind of like that. Yo-yo is very fun. Let's just go ahead and use this one again. Actually, why not give the Muramasa a try? Yeah, come back here. I got a bone to pick with you. That is much quicker. We've already looted that one. Demon. And with no voodoo doll attached. Essentially, you could say no strings attached. Are we still not able to step down here? Okay, it does have a different texture down here. It looks like actual lava liquid at the bottom. Oh, hello there. Demonic Hell card. Equipable. Oh wait, that's for our vehicle section, right. I'm guessing that's referring specifically to immunity to lava when we're on a minecart. Let's go ahead and equip. We didn't just loot that entire chest. Let's fix that. Loot all, and then get out of here as soon as possible. Ooh, very flashy. And very high damage. We are making excellent progress. Right, can we mine this stuff out with an... We can! Although it looks like it's immediately... Oh, I was on fire. And I was not paying attention to my health. You know what? I think I will bite the bullet. I'll commission someone for streamer assets, and once I have an envisioning on the proper aesthetics, I might make another one for myself in the future, but I'll take the advice from someone who already knows their graphical design stuff. Since I have said I would like to take this streaming more seriously, I think I will, you know, just go out there and purchase an intro card, outro card, a little bit of logo design, so on and so forth. Get the advertising base started, and then from there decide on the true Xander aesthetics, Right now, I'm torn between the option of, one, a friendly classroom vibe in which I'd have, say, corkboards or chalkboards or whatever for a background, or two, focusing more on the programming aspect and having the sort of stereotypical hacker motif, you know, with the dark black background and all the green ones and zeros flying everywhere. You'll also notice the streamer well, I did make this little vector background that I use in between here. And it does have a nice little sort of friendly scientific aesthetic with these symbols in the background. I don't know yet what befits Xander most of all. If any of you have some good ideas, I would love to hear them. Come back here. You know, it is just like playing Gold Lewis. I have a spinning hitbox around me. Something very long, heavy, and violent on the end of a chain. There's an interesting set of different appeals there. If I went for the sort of hacker vibe, while it is somewhat inaccurate, it is definitely on brand with the whole programmer aesthetic. Having, say, variable names or whatever floating around in the background, say, memory addresses, so on and so forth, and the like. But that does appeal to a sort of edgier half of Xander, which I do not present nearly as often. That is the Xander that does the evil laugh whenever I absolutely destroy someone in Guilty Gear. Another giant bone worm, indeed. Bone serpent, I think is what it was called. Oh! Well, that was quick. Never mind, new favorite weapon until it's obsolete. Does this thing destroy projectiles, too? Oh, hello there. Of course you're gonna teleport right to me. This was a really bad idea. Should be on brand as Turing hacking the German Enigma. Someone who immediately recognizes the namesake. Very nice. I don't know how many people actually pick up on the Turing thing. There's been a number of friends that I've spoken to who didn't understand the namesake. Huh. You know, that sort of aesthetic of being the whole edgy, nothing personnel kid archetype. I mean, that's why I have the... Oh, wait, it's not visible from here. Hold on. Xander will move a little bit higher up. But I mean, that's one reason I had the ambassador pose as one of my potential expressions, along with the whole glowing glasses thing. I am stuck betwixt two worlds of trying to figure out if I want to present more friendly or sort of the smug programmer aesthetic, essentially. Before I go too far... Let's not do that. History is kind of familiar for you. You know, originally I was very much not fond of history, at least going through school. But in retrospect, since I've not specifically had to study for it, I've taken a much bigger liking to history. A lot of the precedents, and seeing how events have played out in the past. And yes, it is absolutely true what they say, history does indeed repeat itself. Sad on how Turing ended up. Yeah, I mean... As a confession, there have been a number of times in which I've considered it disrespectful to use his name. Because of such similar circumstances. So there have been a couple of times in which I've considered changing the name at least. Not so much the rest of the identity, but maybe a small rebrand, who knows. And as it stands, I still basically play both sides of the card of being a chill, relaxing, comforting sort of professor vibe, and the sort of more smug, aggressive, nothing personnel kid bit. History is more fun when you're just doing it yourself, not forgetting an A, indeed. I was doing a lot better in my college history courses, mostly because college I was able to play more to my own vibes, or to my own scheduling, basically. And I was doing a lot better in college than I was in high school. That was one of my weaker subjects. I actually made very, very poor grades during my high school and middle school run. It was at that time in which I was mostly getting a little disenfranchised with the American school system. Which, yes, I do believe ultimately has failed me. College definitely handles things a lot better, but at the same time, it's because there's money on the table for that. Now I gotta think. How are we gonna get our hands on some more of the Hellfire? Or Hellstone, wasn't it called? Yeah, Hellstone. Is there an accessible way to get ourselves some fire resistance? Or, I mean, basically, we should just be building platforms here, there, and everywhere, rather than trying to go for our risky platforming maneuvers. I don't think we raided this tower yet. Let's take a little hop in here. I mean, we do have the grappling hook to get by with. That's one thing. Turing, what a good lad he was. Should there be a heaven or an afterlife, I should probably say, as that is a bit more universal. Heaven carries its, Abrahamic connotations, even though there are rough equivalents in a lot of different religions. But should there be an afterlife, the heroes I do want to meet would be Alan Turing and Carl Sagan. There was one thing I debated for a long time, and that is if I wanted to adopt a Carl Sagan-esque manner of speaking on my channel. Or for the less informed, sounding like Mr. Smith from The Matrix. If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. Classic. Another good lad. Who knows? I mean, first and foremost, I am a programmer more than an astronomer or physicist or other sort of scientist. Funny enough, a lot of the other science VTubers I've seen in the community have their own specific fields that they're engaged in. One of my, probably who I'd consider my closest VTuber friend that isn't someone I already knew from before, Leviathan, but Dr. Cave, who I might have mentioned a couple of times, I might be collabing with him soon once he becomes available in his school schedule. If I remember, he is an actual physicist. We have engineers, there's a couple of biologists. I've seen a couple of psychologists as well. Oh, what a lovely different crowd we have. And I've been so proud to see so many other scientists on YouTube. Not YouTube, Twitter. Just generally doing the whole VTubing thing. And get it? Haha, we got it. And we got him. Aim for it. Got him. And that was a lot of damage. Once I understand the mechanics of having multiple hooks to tether with, I think I'll use those a lot more responsibly. But as it is, I feel like the fastest way to get across such a wide horizontal range would be to actually just use them one at a time and jetpack in between. Tim. Goodbye, Tim. No, he'll be back. He'll be back very soon. There are some who call him, obviously. They're gonna make the Monty Python reference. And you know immediately I have to equip that instead of the bow. What does that do? 5% increased magic damage. I wonder if there's a whole set for that, and I wonder if it's viable at our current equipment level. Thank you, Tim. Very cool. I'm still looking for that magic missile more than anything else, but, alright. I'll request a hint from yourself, James. Is the Wall of Flesh basically our next boss fight? Okay. I'll find my way to you. That does dissipate projectiles. That's incredible. Wall of Flesh was basically the last thing I did on my old single-player Terraria, and I don't really remember the order up to that point. Slice of Hell Cake summons a baby imp. I'm gonna guess that's a pet item, or It is the only thing between me and hard mode, indeed. And I'm not sure how well I'm prepared for hard mode yet, given that I know the whole... Oh, now the corruption and the hollow start spreading everywhere. I at least know that much about the mechanics of hard mode. Perhaps we are approaching the point of being ready for it. There we go. Right, there's something I wanted to check while I was in a somewhat safer spot. And I suppose we're relatively safe here. At least I am currently on full health and I'll be immediately alerted if someone starts attacking me. Let me check right now. Is Game Maker Studio 2 a subscription? Oh, well, at least I'm immediately reminded of enemies trying to attack us from the outside. I don't remember having to pay any extra subscription fees. Huh. Oh, right, I think I did just pay them lump sums. Probably. I will have to check my bank account. Or maybe I bought a permanent license a while ago. I can't immediately remember. Regardless, I still enjoy Game Maker Studio enough, specifically that I am willing to shell out the money for it. To shell out the money for it, not shill. Shill is when I'm looking to acquire money. Ash, welcome. How was your Saturday afternoon, assuming you are one of our American audience members? And otherwise, I will wish you the proper good morning or evening as you wish. And again, I am no longer paying attention to my health bar. Of which I, too, have promptly turned to ash. Let's head back down real quick. You know what? Actually, before I do that real quick, we are almost 2 hours in, and I think it is time for the ever so necessary break. American, a Saturday afternoon for yourself. Well, hey, welcome to the channel. Unfortunately, I have to vanish for just a moment real quick. So, excuse me for a moment, but welcome to the channel, Ash. And a skibbity skibbit. Gonna have to work on my scat singing. Xander makes his return. Skibbity doo wop. Bop. Bop pop cock. Whatever other scat noises we can come with. Oh, what was it? No, I absolutely cannot remember, Scatman John is another person I'd like to actually meet in the afterlife, if available. I enjoyed the message behind a lot of his music, even though only basically 2 of his songs have been famous. They all carried a very lovable and noble message behind them. He's the Scatman, indeed. Everybody stutters one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, don't let nothing hold you back. If the Scatman can do it, brother, so can you. Everybody's saying that the Scatman stutters, but he doesn't ever stutter when he sings. But what you know, I'm going to tell you right now is that the stutter and the scat are the same thing. Yo, I'm the Scatman. And once I remember how to do the whole thing, I'll be sure to recite that for you. Ooh, that's another song I have to sing. I'm hoping, eventually, once there is a larger crowd, then maybe a karaoke thing could take off. There's a number of mimetically famous and popular songs that I do genuinely enjoy. I mean, everything from Lemon Demon, for example. Now, where were we before we perished? Of course. Pay attention to the health bar this time. Make sure we do not get ourselves into trouble. Listed to the concert, then. I mean, mostly I'm trying to measure between... Okay, am I still on fire? How do I... Okay, So I guess you really just don't want to land in lava in the first place, noted. Might be good for me to just bring along a few platforms then. Yeah, concert will probably contain, obviously Lemon Demon and a number of other mimetically famous songs. Unfortunately, I am not enough. Yeah, how do I. Dead. Platforms. We are looking for platforms. Because I know I made plenty to spare. Or at least we have some wood to start with. Those blocks are red hot. Okay. Pay more attention to the ground I'm walking on, then. You know what? Let's be foolish. Try to get... Wait, no. I want to put up some of my inventory first. Silver bullet. Wonder if we use that with gun. It'll be worth an investigation soon. Much like meteorite, try not to touch. I should pay a lot more attention then. It is difficult for me to pay attention to the circumstances of the game itself, simultaneously with trying to engage y'all in such wonderful conversation, which you have made for such wonderful conversation so far. And always, you always do. That's really why I'm here for the streaming thing. I mean, networking. That's me scooting on my chair if you can hear that on the background. I have said that a number of streams have been reinvigorating to me, and that's mostly because I get such wonderful conversation out of the way. I love hearing everyone's thoughts and expressing some of mine as well. I will make a confession that among many of my groups of friends, once the crowd grows too large, people tend to speak over me, and me being, unfortunately, way too polite, I never attempt to speak over them, so oftentimes I don't get the opportunity to speak my mind. And I do believe I have a lot to say. Please listen to me. I'm not scared of you. Come here. You're going to the bone zone. Almost. Perfect. So I'm guessing it's the Hellstone that we might have been standing on that was inflicting us with said fire damage. That will be my first guess, but then again I wasn't looking either, was I? Hopefully I may find the gold that I previously dropped. This does go quite a bit. Is that, like, I'm thinking that's like silver or something otherwise mostly unremarkable. We should be safe in any of the part where the lava is flowing. Indeed. Okay, so it is the Hellstone. Which means we were standing on gold, weren't we? Well, figurative gold. Melee attacks inflict fire damage. I do believe we were here prior. You are not a voodoo demon. So, you're free game. Now I'll have to remember where we were standing prior. I want to mine all of this out, but we do not yet have fire or lava immunity. Looks like we haven't quite been here. Ah, there it is. Okay, so there's the Hellfire brick. That's what we need to watch out for. I thought that because it was a solid structure, it might have been safe. Seems I was very, very wrong. I didn't yet recognize it was made from a different material than the other surroundings we have. Alright, problem solved. And let's not make the risky trip down to that door below. Instead, just bash these open. See what we find. No chest at the bottom, it seems. So I'm guessing that's hellstone brick or something. We probably can't actually get the hellstone we're looking for out of it, right? Because I know next is the actual hell tier of items. Now where are we headed? I do want to find all that gold that we dropped earlier, which I think was in the other direction, correct? That was where we just burned. The grappling hook in Halo was so wonderful too. I would like to play that game more, but I'd rather play that one with friends. Tommy, welcome. Can't stay too long. Just wanted to stop and see how it's going. It's been going awfully well, Tommy. So glad to see you always. I see you frequenting, Leviathan's chat. I do need to watch both of y'all much more. I usually leave myself logged off of this account. Are you able to mine hellstone yet? Yeah, I have a, nightmare pickaxe, and I have done it. Because we did, yeah, we got one in our inventory that we did dig out. Are you streaming soon, Tommy? I'll try to see if I can attend that after this stream. In fact, it is normally our ending time, but I'm enjoying myself. Oh, hello, Geyser. Try to tune in when you can. We are all busy, ultimately. I understand that. So, no harm to you, nor anyone else. Not tonight, no. But your mama... VTuber Mom. The, spaceship, right? I don't think I've actually watched her yet. Or am I thinking of someone else? Right, we have been to this little spot before. So we are on the right track. Indeed, I'll have to give her a look. Hopefully that is not too much fire to handle. And it stopped. Good. Can't wait for the ever so convenient resistance to fire that I hope is happening to us very soon. Okay, so that's where I died before, and that's more of the hell brick right there. We do have a bit of obsidian brick we can use, and probably place as a bit of a safer platform. First and foremost, I want to get up there and retrieve the gold I dropped. And quickly now, then hang up here and try to decide our next move right afterwards. Uh-oh. Heck, we might just have to sit here and heal for a moment. Place looks just as fun as you remember it being. This is actually my first time basically playing, right? Tito Lounge, aka Broham, welcome. So glad to see you. Even though you have not yet announced your presence in chat. Trying to sneak in after the bell, I see. Fashionably late. Well, very fashionable indeed. You at least have that going for you, a nice taste and style. Haven't played in literal years. I haven't either. Last time we played this was 2017, and it was about Wall of Flesh that I got to. Although, I basically got down here and immediately accidentally ended up dropping a voodoo doll into the lava, since I immediately had to fight a voodoo demon, and he was, well, hovering over the lava pits as I defeated him. I learned very quickly the dangers of doing that. Yeah, that was my introduction to the area down here. Immediately met with violence, and flesh, and eyeballs, teeth, bones, the like. Seems a lot of these places still haven't yet been raided by whoever was here before, because I do see a lot of these structures have been dug out slightly. Yeah, sounds about right. I'm gradually understanding this game comes with a number of its particularly sadistic hangups. A bit unaccommodating, if you would ask me. But I will eventually find my way around. I am kind of interested in trying to get back to that shadow tip chest earlier. Especially since our health mostly has regenerated. I think we might want to head back. For such a large serpent, you're not particularly fearsome, are you? Ha! Got him. Never felt comfy playing it solo for sure. We have left this, as you see, it has the information down here in the center. We have the information to basically make it open. And one of our viewers, Tito Lounge, has just joined. So it is an open invitation to play, although I still don't know what I'm doing. But I'm surviving, and that's the most important part. Yeah. Keep it up. Maybe you could join in on a future stream if schedules align. I would actually... I'm looking in just basically every which way direction for collab opportunities. And I am still hesitant to actually get some of that stuff scheduled, but maybe if it was more spontaneous. Although if there was a collaboration opportunity between the two of us, I don't yet have an idea what game it would be that we could be playing. Don't say Genshin, because I absolutely despise Genshin. And accordingly, gacha games in general. Get our obsidian brick out because we won't want to be able to. You just meant like joining the server rather than a proper collab. Indeed, yes. That's what Leviathan has done a couple of times. She's just popped in on here even though it hasn't been formally displaying other VTuber avatars. I'm just saying, I'm open for any collaboration opportunity in general. I want to do the same thing with Leviathan for, say, MechWarrior. Although she's still getting herself used to her sea legs. Pun intended, very much. Alright, quick, before we die. Oh, the platforms are safe. Those aren't made out of hellstone or whatever it is. Grab this, loot all, don't even look at what's in there. Treasure magnet, meteorite bar, restoration, stuff. Break some of these. And break some of these. Keep an eye on our health. Looks like there might be no more treasures further downward. Alright, let's head our way out of here. Right, we can't use our healing potions yet, so quickly. And we have left it in safety. Aside from the demon looking to kill us promptly, let's navigate our way around here. And I think... Come here. There we go. Perfectly handled. So what's your mom streaming tonight, Thomas? Tommy. My apologies. I am prone to trying to be as polite as possible, and in that case, I do occasionally autopilot into the stereotype of using the much more formal names that many nicknames originate from. I'll try not to do that again. Tommy. I'll remember that. Craft an obsidian skull from obsidian. It gives you immunity to hot blocks. And we can definitely get ourselves some more of that soon. In fact, we could head back up and grab plenty of it right now. Hopefully it wouldn't require too many. And jet our way up here. Nothing but fire. As expected. There we go. We did see plenty more obsidian towards where we started getting in here. And should we be able to mine that without it falling into the lava and immediately disintegrating, assuming that's a mechanic here? Playing Fallout with some... That's right! She was a, big Bethesda fan, wasn't she? If I remember correctly, I think I saw her playing Skyrim a couple of times. I will definitely need to attend those then. Permitting my schedule. I was actually thinking of cutting it out soon, but with Broham making his arrival, I might make the accommodations to do this for a couple more hours. Indeed, there was another fellow I followed recently on Twitch who's also a huge Bethesda fanboy like myself. Uh-oh. So is the result, and we're probably not going to get back into that lava very soon, but I don't even know what we're using the gold for now. Yep, that's just my foolishness, but we haven't yet gotten ourselves into too much trouble. Let's go see if we can scavenge up some obsidian first before anything else. And just make another drop down here real quick. So Fallout, we talking 3, 4, or New Vegas? If it's 76, I'm completely uninterested, but who would be foolish enough to be a 76 VTuber? I'm gonna spin this stick and get as much fireball going on as I can. Ah, if only Gold Lewis could destroy projectiles with a behemoth typhoon. Ha! We have some obsidian here. 4 indeed. I've spent a lot of time in 4 myself. That will hurt us, obviously. I wonder, can we just drain this out? It will destroy the ropes on the way down. Well, that's a discovery I am glad we made, but sad that it happened in that fashion. How much obsidian do we need? Knowing Terraria, we usually need a lot of blocks of something in order to craft an object, so I imagine it'll be like 40 or something like that. For what little I know about Terraria, and if I'm wrong, then you'll, well... Yep, there goes the rope. There goes our most convenient way back up, but we'll learn from our mistakes. After all, very little harm was done there. I suppose the damage is already done, so might as well let the rest of it flow out. Hook up here, dig that out, and dig this out. Get flowing. And hopefully not end up over here. 20, not bad at all. And I think we've already sated that requirement, haven't we? Obsidian, obsidian, obsidian. Not obsidian brick, I assume we're looking for regular obsidian. Loot all sort items. That sorts the chest, that does not sort what we have in our pockets. Ah, 29. We are more than enough. And we don't even need to hitch a ride back up, essentially. I forget. Quite often. Now I have to figure out what crafting station we make that obsidian skull at. Unless it's something we can just do with our bare hands right here. No. Of course it's not that easy. It's never that easy. Wonder if that, Hellforge or whatever it is that we got makes any sort of a difference. We picked one up. There it is. It's just here for aesthetics, isn't it? And future crafting recipes, I imagine. Mildly disappointing. Bomb fish. Interesting. You know what? I'll look it up. I'll just cheese it. Terraria obsidian skull. And combine that with our hell whatever it is. The lucky hellstone. Ah, just crafted at a furnace. Simple enough. Slowing down. Hopefully that does not wear down on you, Bram. Where? Oh! We quick stacked the obsidian away. Of course we did. What is going on here? I think it might have just been so much stuff loading in the background. That might have been the issue. The guide, by the way, tells you where to make things. Okay. Still learning. Still learning. And you know, I'll probably complete the game without having a grasp of most of these things. Although chances are, in order to actually get to the final boss, I'll need to know everything about what I am doing. Always, Broham. Thank you for your patience and kindness. We've had a lot of obsidian this entire time, and in fact we could have been immune from a long time ago. Give me one of those. And, you know what, I'll go ahead and look it up again. Obsidian skull in Terraria. You say we can combine it with the lucky hellstone that we have? Right, magma skull, crafted in a tinkerer's workshop, which... wonder if that has anything to do with the goblin here, right? Purchased from the goblin tinkerer for 10 gold. And it looks like a little bookshelf of sorts. Doesn't look like we already have one here. So, let's put that gold to use, shall we? Where's our little goblin boy? He should be around here. There he is. Negurk. What an interesting name. Hopefully YouTube's automatic catching all for names does not flag that violently. One at your room near spawn, and I wish I read that before I purchased that. Oh well, I'd rather have one in our usual base there. Gotta bounce for now. Good luck with the rest of the stream. Thank you, Tommy. I'll see if I can pop in and pay your mom a visit. But no. There's the, more snarky evil Xander for you. What are you doing, Xander? You know I had to. In fact, for actually most of that part, I wasn't anticipating it to be interpretable so violently, but if you have a chance, run with it. I'm still smirking to myself. That was horrible. That was horrible. I do often have a case of stage fright, as much as you might not be willing to believe that while I'm streaming, so... A lot of times I will say something that I don't necessarily have the intentions as they come out with, mostly because I'm trying to keep myself talking as often as possible, as is one of the most important rules of streaming. That's why I welcome more viewers so much, because I love having more people to strike up conversation with. After all, having a one-sided conversation is very boring and unpleasant, and doesn't make for much of a good topic to discuss. So usually I end up saying some mildly unpleasant things, mostly because I'm not watching myself while I'm talking too much. Somehow I still powered my way through theater class in spite of not having too much familiarity with dealing with stage fright. I just power through it. Grants immunity to fire blocks, but I wonder how we can get immunity to lava later on. It'll happen eventually. I'm kind of wanting my gold back, but I can't even remember where I dropped it. I don't remember if it dissipates after a certain amount of time either. We should have a headstone roughly where I died, right? Heh, you know what? If I was extremely concerned, I could go back through the VOD and look for it. I also noticed that a lot of my viewers are capable of paying attention more to my streams than I am. I have extremely divided attention here between trying to play, talk, and read. It'll be down there for a while. Well, that is good news then. Thank you, Broham. Welcome to the Smackdown. Got him. 69, quite nice. That'll be interesting. I'll look back at this video in the future and see if it has been demonetized due to my pronunciation of that goblin tinker's name. After all, I know YouTube's algorithms are imperfect, which is the reason I don't have 10,000 subscribers yet. Or why I haven't even been exposed to that many people. Ah, did we finally get things to work, James? Or not. Oh. Still upsetting me to this day. And I don't know why it isn't working. I imagine your internet should be as functional as mine is. Maybe I do need to just host a dedicated server. One of these days, have a month of Terraria, where I just basically play this game every other day, right? So Hellstone leaves behind fire when it is dug out as anticipated, which means maybe if I dig a larger pit here, it should be a bit easier to harvest. Internet is not as functional as mine is. That would explain a lot then. We're gonna need a bigger hole. And yes, I know about the misinterpretability of that phrasing of the statement right there. How silly of me. Ah, right. That was Hellstone too. Make more accommodating space for all this lava to flow out. And I wonder... So Hellstone... Items that protect the player, blah 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 blah. NPCs and enemies do not receive damage. Used for creating Hellstone Bar, of course, which then I'm guessing the set for that might give some moderate lava resistance, right? Doesn't look like it. Eventually, we'll have some way to survive in lava for a little bit. Eventually. If we dig from the bottom up, the lava will flow out from underneath us before it reaches us ourselves. Dig that out. Let that flow out, dig out the holes underneath, and... Almost. Get away from me. Now, how to figure this one out? Almost. If we... Not the most inventive of strategies, is it? Well then. Try again, I suppose. I've already spent the gold, so I don't need to preserve too much of it. At least not for now. Funny how I can literally Alt-Tab out of the game and it continues falling in the background. And still, during that entire time, I have not reached the bottom. But we are slowing down. Maybe I should close out the, close the wiki. Which also closed out my YouTube tab, so I don't have as easy of a way to monitor that stream itself. And we do have a safe landing once we eventually reach the ground. Good to note and noted. Where was it that we were just standing anyway? It was somewhere around here. I think it was the next tower over from here. What is the cave bat doing in hell? No. Get back upstairs where you belong. Go to your room. Without coins, how will you afford the really expensive pets? I'll steal them. Nah, I'll definitely play more responsibly in the future, but right now I am, of course, Noida style, getting a feel of the dangers this game provides. Now I have a much better idea this time. Dig out a really big hole, larger than the vein of hellstone we are trying to acquire. Oh, even some more hellstone down here. Keep digging, dig underneath. And we can ignore that one block, honestly. Of course. You know what? We're not gonna need the potato chips for now, and I should have ate that when we went into the dungeon. There we go. Xander finally figured it out. Look at him go. Get some digging done there and there. Ah, right, Broham. I know you weren't one of my students interested in programming, and that was a subject we discussed earlier in the stream. I might even do, well, I'm still deciding, but soon, might do a Game Maker Studio 2 tutorial, as well as potentially something for Mugen, which would be an excellent little tutorial to go through. And who knows, after I expand my fan base a little bit, I might ask or have polls specifically on what sort of lessons the class would like to have. Please work this time, please. So far, no, I'm sorry, James. Maybe it would be more functional if I got a dedicated server for this. You know what? Maybe I'll leave the Terraria off as a break for a little bit while I pick up a couple of other games. And then once we get a little bit more momentum, I'll see what I can do about getting, dedicated server up and then playing this game a lot more frequently for, say, a month. That would probably make for much better accommodations. And would also save me a little bit of money. I'd hope a dedicated server would serve you a lot better. It's teasing you at this point. I'm sorry to hear that. I wish I knew how to help, or at least I wish I knew what the problem was. Then it would be much easier for me to help. Let's go ahead and head home. And see what we can do with all this, hellstone here. I hope we can smelt it properly here. No? Do we need a stronger furnace? Guess I am gonna look up that wiki in the background then. Yeah, Hellstone Bar. Crafted in the Hellforge, of course. I knew that thing had a use to it. Hell Furnace and Hell Bars. You go away. Oh, there's the man himself. You had an item for me, is that what you're saying? Or you're trying to redirect me? Do tell. Because I did have a Hellforge back home. Obsidian skin, so that is... Ah! Well, that would be wonderful. I'll definitely use that for when I go back down for gold. Once I find where I died. The first time, when there was much more at stake. Give me your secrets. I also imagine there's a much easier way to craft a whole stack of that stuff at once than what I've been doing. Do we even really need anything out of here? Ah, Phoenix Blaster. Interesting. And it uses bullets, of course. If I were to craft that Unreal handgun we found in combination with Hellstone Bar and created a Phoenix Blaster, would it keep the modifier? Or would it reset or re-roll? Really, the only thing I'm concerned with is the Molten Pickaxe. Best pre-hard mode pickaxe capable of mining hard mode ores, there thus being a very essential tool. It resets. Disappointing. Well, I know we will at least need that pickaxe, and we are crafting it at... at an anvil, of course. And we have two here, interestingly enough. Excellent. Legendary. Wonderful find. I'll just put these up haphazardly. It's not like we have any of our other folks returning. A number of the people who were here for the first Terraria stream. And to this day, I'm still bewildered why I gathered so much attention there. And to this day, still have not really had too many people show up for more Terraria streams. As I said, the algorithm continues to bury me. It's too scared. Too scared of my power. Well, back to hell we go. With our absolutely horrible winter attire. "14 melee damage, not like we'll be actually hurting anyone with it. And drop down, go for a fall. So, we are so close to the beginning of hard mode. Suppose that means that I'd say maybe next stream we go ahead and prep for it. For our big wall of fleshy boy. Of course, I don't know how difficult of a challenge he is in comparison to the enemies we fought to this point, but I imagine Terraria, as unwelcoming as it is to some people with its mechanics being sadistic, the cacti and so on chasing after us directly, I imagine just having some decent Hellfire or Meteorite gear will be sufficient for us to at least stand a chance. Now, so that we don't run out of those potions too soon, I do want to make sure we can find that headstone, wherever it may be. And take damage, irresponsibly, once more, as always. Tony the arms dealer has arrived. He'll be selling us guns, I imagine. And in this little Hellfire house here, we actually do have our safety from the fire. So, do our little raid here. Oh yeah, Broham, did you see the name of the YouTube stream? I'm certain you did, after all you're here. I hoped you would get a little kick out of it. Trying to keep an eye down there. I think it might have been in the other direction. Yeah, it's probably the other direction where we found ourselves some unpleasant fiery fates that awaited us. Okay, good. We dodged that bombardment. Demon, just regular boys. None with that voodoo that you do so well. Okay, let me back in. You know, I don't have to fight them now, do I? some of these places have still been open, so it feels like someone's been here before. Although they did leave quite a bit of the stuff unplundered. More meteorite. And some relatively simple stuff. Not too much. Ah, another chest up here. Wonderful. Exactly what I'm here for. Unpleasant Sun Fury versus a strong, so it's basically the same thing with slightly more damage. I actually would consider it quite pleasant what we found here, rather than unpleasant. What a cute little weapon. I love it. Come on. Well, out comes the health potion. Wish we wouldn't have had to do that, but gradually I will grow a bit more responsible about our movement down here. In fact, I should have just, carried a whole bunch of platforms, as I know that is another common strategy here, is just carving out a wide horizontal berth, as it is much... You know what? That's what we'll be doing for the Wall of Flesh, because I know that's the strategy there. I at least know a number of bossing strategies from hearing friends discuss it. So I'm not going to be so foolish as to fight the Wall of Flesh without having made a couple of decent platforms first. Yeah, I see you. A shame. Our space gun is growing obsolete rapidly. It cannot so sufficiently outdamage our other weapons of choice. Then again, I'm not one to be upset about using a flail. Go ahead, keep breaking things. Everything under the sun. Which I suppose would be everything in hell, given how far below the sun we'd actually be. I do know our Noida boys are here in the chat right now. So my question is, how interested are y'all in seeing Noida return? Granted, no one was showing up for it. No one knew, really, after the first couple of streams or so. But we have been putting off the New Game Plus one for a bit. I'll find a use for that. You always like the Noida streams. I mean, who doesn't? I still consider that tying with Guilty Gear 4 my best content. Any chests that we are looking for down here? No. Noida's always good. There's some guy who keeps getting recommended to me on Twitch who basically does Noida and fighting games, and I'm very happy to see that. I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to strike it with the Noida crowd and actually get some attention in there. It is approaching the 3-hour mark. I think roughly around that time I will go ahead and shut the stream down because I do have a little bit of grocery shopping I need to do before the store closes. So I'll have to make that trip pretty much immediately after the stream is over. gotcha. Mystic Flower of Fire! Well, is that exactly what we were looking for then, huh? I do believe this would be it. Nope, not quite. A Dryad, huh? Interesting choice of NPC. I have no idea what she does. Okay, this does look fun though. Given how much those projectiles bounce. You were looking for a flame lash, that's correct. Thank you. Well, it's nice to at least find a couple of new, interesting weapons. Hooray, the Hellbat banner. Dodge. Bullets out. And... ah, a mana recharge. Interesting. The 50th Vulture. Funny how... with how commonplace those enemies are, we haven't actually fought them too many times. The Dryad has the cure for the corruption. Oh boy. Right, I can't remember. Was it actually the goal to just get rid of both the corruption and the hollow? For what little I did read about Terraria prior, I know basically the hollow, despite its bright and colorful aesthetics, is not any better than the corruption. Although the Dryad will definitely say it is. Or it was one of the NPCs who was so interested in fairy tale aesthetics. You love the hollow. But isn't it supposed to be dangerous? Sort of like the Aether mod for Minecraft. Sure, it has the bright, colorful, lovely aesthetics, but it is not a pleasant place to be. But knowing you, Broham, I imagine you enjoy it because of its danger. Keen Hellwing Bow. Wooden arrows turn into flaming bats. And another health cart. Reduced potion cooldown. What a lovely find. And grapple up there, grapple up here. You know, I can probably just keep swinging the mace around. Especially given how much damage it does. And another. That's filling our inventory now. Wonder what little things we can get rid of. Ah, you know what? That is getting close to the end. We might as well make a little bit more of a trip, but in the stream once we hit the 3-hour mark or so. At that point, I just have a shortcut home anyway. No. And no. The goal is to defeat the final boss and remove the corruption and hollow. Hollow is basically the opposite extreme from the corruption. Yeah, I remember it being dangerous, but just looking bright, cheerful like a fairy tale with all the rainbows and stuff. Excessive purity. It does help contain the corruption. I know the two of them fight, and don't they both basically, take over the surrounding landscape? That's my extent of knowledge, really. Got him. Also makes a great spot for Candyland, I remember. At Solar Project. Well, I definitely need to see Candyland happen. So, I might leave the Terraria streams off for a while. I just know it's a thing that people like to see. And I was hoping to maybe garner more of a viewership with it. But it seems past the first episode, that's not really as likely to happen. I might leave it as a, on the back burner for a while, figuratively. And eventually return to this in the future. Demonic Hellcart, and another Hellwing bow. I think we can get rid of the water walking potion for one. I miss Noida. And here we are, the Voodoo Demon. We'll definitely want one of those dolls for the future. So let's see if we can responsibly kill him while it's not going to fall into lava. And there we go. Get rid of the dynamite. Which hopefully that... well, it's gonna explode now, isn't it? Of course. There was no other option. We'll take a couple of those. You are a terrible person. And so, whenever we are ready, we will get that prepared. This is what I get for making a large world. This is just going to extend very far into the west and east. Although I imagine it shouldn't take us too long to defeat the Wall of Flesh, right? Given how easy a bunch of the other bosses were, it shouldn't be much of a problem for 2 or 3 people. Still keeping an eye out for those shadow chests. I want that fire lash. No, don't do that. Loot all that we can, leave the rest. We're still going after all this time. And grapple, and jump, and grapple, and jump, and gladly that was not dangerous lava that we fell in. Come on, I need more shadow chests. A little dangerous, but I like dangerous. Another flower fire. Taboo! Interesting. Yeah, I hear you. Loot all that we can. I'm not going to need that other flower fire. I'm guessing that's supposed to be a Mario reference, right? Overall, another one. Ruthless. What can we exchange? I imagine we have some relatively less important stuff in here, right? And if not, we can really just exchange things into those chests. Very likely indeed. Back to more ceiling hopping. Ooh, nice shot. Grapple over here and deal with that hellbat. And look at that schmovement. We're doing just fine. Looks like it's just lava after this point. Eventually we're coming to the wall, right? Well, where it ends. Another Tim, huh? Pardon me while I make this detour. Just another wizard hat. Unfortunate. I was hoping maybe for something more special. I was hoping maybe I could get a full wizard outfit eventually. These devs are foolish if that is not an eventual option. And again, no. It is approaching that time, and our inventory is indeed full, so I might be winding things down after, say, the next shadow chest. That disappoints us. Because let's be honest, the next one will disappoint us. And we haven't even found any more towers. No way I'm making all these jumps. Oh, you see that? I did make it, and then overshot it. Get ourselves swinging. It doesn't look like there's any more of them available over here. It does feel like they generate more commonly in those, buildings, which are not generating this far out. And there's another mother slime. Alright, last one. Ornate shadow key. All the rest of it looks interesting. You know what, I consider that an acceptable trade-off. Let's head on home and wind down. I'll sort my inventory at the beginning of the next stream. Right, we don't even have the inventory space for the stars. Alright, Broham, assuming you are still here, find yourself a good stopping point. I will be shutting down the server momentarily. Ready indeed. I almost have my stuff quick stacked, and I think that's good enough. Alright, shutting it down. What a wonderful Saturday. You know, I do enjoy playing that game, and I think it's a very good option for, in the future, a lot more relaxing content to provide. Knowing how much I provide chill vibes in general, maybe fighting games are for the other half of Xander, the one who is a lot more, aggressive and sarcastic. But for our relaxing accommodations, I think Terraria is an excellent choice. I might even be picking up Minecraft soon, since I have so much to show off with the new update. And knowing the popularity and fame of that game as well. That's just the game you have to play. You basically have to chase bandwagons to get any sort of recognition or popularity as a streamer. I'm not sure about a stream later. Maybe, maybe fighting games sometime tomorrow since I did and at it happening possibly on Thursday or Friday. I still want to get that done, although I'm mostly waiting to get that hype reignited with Tuesday. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Is it an African swallow or a European swallow? Classic. Absolutely classic. I knew the instant I saw a wizard named Tim that was the joke they were going for. So, Monday, let's see, hold on, I'll have to check the actual calendar here. Because I know, okay, next Friday is the Eve, and Saturday is the 25th, the big special day for most of our Western folk. Thursday, I believe, is a tournament which will probably turn out to be BlazBlue, so expect that then. I'll see if I can do the same thing for Monday and Tuesday that we've been doing before. Final Halo Infinite stream, assuming that takes just one more, and another control stream. I don't know. Classic. I should watch that movie again. I wonder when and how I could get along with movie watch-alongs. That's just on the list of things to save for when I have a larger audience regardless. But, where was I? Yeah, expect next week to be mostly a repeat of this one. Once we get Halo Infinite and or Control out of the way, I think then is when we start Inscription. And pretty soon, in a couple of weeks, when January 6th rolls around, I think it's the 6th, that's when the new expansion for Dead Cells comes out. So that will be picked up immediately. Other than that, most of the remainder of December will be the same as it has been. I'll be taking a bit more of a break and trying to get some more work done in the background. So, thank you all for your attendance on this lovely Saturday afternoon / evening / morning. Class is formally dismissed. I do definitely look angry when I look off to the side like that. Watch. Yeah, since the camera can't recognize my eyes at that point, it just says no. Xander's sleeping, and he's angry. Thank you, James, Broham, A-Joy. You all are a joy to see.